All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. Today belongs to Egbe and Ogun. And as such, we did our morning devotion and were treated to a collection of lessons that I really think are going to be pivotal in helping you to know who your people are, know who your adversaries are, and how to set the kind of boundaries that are necessary in order for you to treat both groups accordingly while you pursue your real goal. Now, in order for you to appreciate this, what I need you to first understand is the fact that in the beginning, for you as an Orisha devotee, every time you see somebody else who's got one of these long African names, man, with like 8 vowels and 4 syllables, you know what I'm saying? And accent marks and diacritic mark. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You see how you like, and they got the beads and the outfits on and everything. And you every time you see one of those folks, you identify with them because, hey, finally, here's another person who looks to be doing what I'm doing. And so you associate yourself with all of them. We associate ourselves with one another on sight. And then we come to the realization, one way or another, that all of these people ain't my people. The Yorubas will tell us, your enemies will throw your belongings into the river, but your friends will dive into the river to retrieve your belongings. And that ultimately becomes the most surefire way for you to know who are your friends and who are your adversaries. That's a hard lesson to learn, but we all have to learn it. Now, just because somebody is your adversary, however, just because someone is not your friend, does not mean that you are bitter enemies and that the hatred that you have for one another goes down to the core of your essence and will carry out for all perpetuity. That's where a lot of us African Americans, we make the mistake. It's not this, middle school thing. You're like either for us or you're against us. We're all like blood brothers forever, or we hate you. Nah, man, that's silly. That's silly. It's very childish. Because listen, from a business perspective, if I have a McDonald's on this corner, you know what the best thing for my business is gonna be? You know what I want to see more than anything else if I open up a McDonald's on this corner? I want to see you open up a Burger King right across the street. And then if your homegirl opens up a Popeye's chicken on the 3rd corner and my homeboy opens up a Pizza Hut on the 4th corner, perfect. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Right? Because me, as the lone McDonald's proprietor, maybe everybody doesn't like McDonald's. But the people who don't like McDonald's like Burger King. And then the ones who don't like Burger King like Popeyes. And the ones who don't like Popeyes are going to want Pizza Hut. So now, instead of me being this one lone food establishment, we got a whole food corridor now. So at lunchtime, at all hours, people are just constantly associating that area with food. So we might be competing, but I'm not trying to destroy you. We might be competing, but you're not trying to destroy my homeboy's business. Right? We need one another to flourish. So sometimes our competition is like the right leg and the left leg, and you need both of them to be able to walk and then march and then run. A lot of people don't know that while we're arguing and, quarreling about Apple versus Android, and we think that it would carry out all the way to the highest level. In reality, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they weren't, I don't think they were partners, chummy and going out and hanging out together, but they definitely relied upon one another to the point that, if I'm not mistaken, uh, Microsoft, I think, was providing some bit of hardware for Apple. There's some kind of a microprocessor, I'm pretty sure, that comes from Microsoft hardware that's in, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Apple has some kind of hardware that is in a Microsoft device, and then the other one was providing the other with software. You guys who are the real computer nerds can look it up. But yeah, there's a cross pollination between Microsoft and Apple, because they know ultimately the success of one is going to support, encourage, and create an environment for the success of the other. So sometimes you realize you don't have the relationship with people that you thought you had with them, but it doesn't mean that you're now bitter enemies. It just means that you're competing with one another on different terms. And so the lesson that we got today was around, let's say the farmer. In order for me to share this lesson this way, let me help you understand. In Yoruba land, traditionally, everyone has a city house and a farmhouse. And you go to the city house for festivals. Your daughter's getting married, you're having your Ifa festival, the King's festival is in town, is happening, it's market day. All that happens at the city house because it's concentrated population. Big cities. Yorubas have big cities traditionally. But when it's not festival season, when it's not market day, you go to the farmhouse. And your farmhouse obviously is more spread out, right? And so let's say, for example, maybe you're members of an extended family and you want to occupy the city house. But in order for you to occupy the city house, the farmer has to stay out. But you can't eliminate the farmer because he's your people, he's your relative. You can't kill him, you can't make him sick, but you just don't want him to be in the city house. You need to be in the city house more. You need to occupy the city house more time than he does. So what do? You create more opportunities for him on the farm. So when he's trying to come to the city house, all of a sudden, he's got a bumper crop. He's got to stay out there and handle the crops. When he's trying to come to the city, the livestock, they are producing. The chickens are producing. The next time he's thinking about he wants to come to the city, the farmers are having a farm convention out there. And they're the best farmers in the land are out there and they're hanging out together and they're trading secrets, irrigation secrets, fertilization secrets, pest control secrets. He's just in heaven. But he's worried about moving things from the farm to the city. You have somebody who's going to help him move the product from the farm to the city and then take his profits back to him. So that what? It is totally in his best interest to stay on the farm. You're creating an opportunity for your adversary, for your opponent, for your competitor, because it creates an opportunity for you to do what you want to do and need to do in the city house. This is what it means to create an opportunity for your enemy in the east so that you can enter the kingdom through the west. It's a metaphor. All right. Now, in order to do that, you got to do something that this is it plays right into the kind of the spirit of Yoruba social psychology. And this is something that I picked up on the last time I was in Nigeria, which is the spirit of play. That everybody, like here in the States, we would call it having game. Same idea. You got game, I got game, you got game. Everybody got game. You know what I mean? The more game you have, the gift of the gab, your sense of humor, your wit, you know what I mean? Your cunning and able to think on your feet, like that is highly prized in Yoruba land. And so it gets excessive for our taste, to be honest, because the things just don't seem to be structured enough, right? Sometimes we need to know what the price is. That ain't always subjective, man. I need to know what's the real price. Is it $1 or is it $10? Because I went here yesterday and it was $1. Today you telling me it's 10. I'm not in the mood for all that for every single negotiation. Some things need to be fixed. Okay, that's why I'm saying this, because as an African American, I know that becomes problematic when we get to Nigeria. But for a Nigerian, that's all part of the game. I hustled you today. I outwitted you today. Somehow the set of circumstances allowed me to get another extra dollar out of you, to get an extra $2 out of you. The next day you hustled me. Man, you got the product for $1 less. You got the product for less than I paid for it. Okay. And it's game though. People aren't harboring deep-seated feelings of bitterness and animosity and hatred toward one another because you hustled me. Right? They're able to recognize it as part of the game of life. And so that is underlying, this lesson of being able to constantly negotiate and renegotiate the terms of engagement as you move toward some kind of a shared goal, some kind of a shared vision. And that is the ultimate lesson, because all the people who are playing the game need to be constantly reminded of what we're really doing. There's a lot of details and there's a lot of steps along the way, but ultimately, this is our goal. And so long as we can draw a straight line between what we're doing today and the goal that we want to achieve ultimately, then the game is good. But the moment that we can't see a straight line from where we are to where we really want to go, then we need to step back and we need to reevaluate. Maybe we've gone too far to the left, maybe we've gone too far to the right. All right. So this is a lesson that is absolutely appropriate for leaders. If you're one of those folks who really, really, really are in a position to help improve the world through positive influence, then I want you to find out how Oloye, Obafemi Origunwa, and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the highest level possible. I want you to visit me today at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com, and let's start working together to help you heal your life and heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.